All right, so for today, I have something really fun. I wanted to show you this Leap Motion controller. Um, it is a hand tracking controller, and I'm going to use it to control a synthesizer. I use Serum. This is because I'm fairly new to synthesis, and I wasn't all excited to, be doing everything in the box or like using knobs or even an XY controller. I kind of wanted more kinetic control of synthesis. Say you're designing something like a lightsaber or like a force field or a electric vehicle or something, and you want to just give more than just an XY parameter to the tone or the quality of a sound. I figured I wanted some sort of like multi-dimensional tool, and preferably one I could just kind of use with my hand, and this is perfect. So I'll show you a little bit of what's going on under the hood with this. So if I bring up the camera over here, so this is showing you what the Leap Motion controller is seeing. It's seeing my hand over here. You could use two hands on this. For today's demonstration, I'm just going to use one. And you can see it detects when you tilt your hand, when you pitch it, when you go down and up, back and forth, all that goodness. And so what happens is we feed this to, where's the other guy? This GECO software. So what GECO is doing is it's interpreting the different actions, say the up and down right here. Here, let me move my webcam. Up and down on my hand here, it's giving us input there, MIDI data, and that MIDI data can then go out to wherever you want it to go to. In my case, it's going to be Pro Tools, but yeah, you can get the left and right, the tilt, and I won't get into it here, but you assign like which MIDI channel each one of these goes out to. I will give you the hint that it can detect if your hand is open or closed. I just have it do the same input on both because I found that if I'm moving my hand around, sometimes it would kind of snap between open and closed. So I just keep it uniform across those two. And so let's go into Pro Tools here where I've got Serum set up, and I'm going to start on default. And again, I am new to synthesis, so you're not going to hear anything that's going to blow your mind in terms of sound design today, but I just wanted to show you the application of this controller, and you can kind of do with it as you wish. So what I have done, though, let me move this back over here, is in Serum, you can assign MIDI data to these macros over here. So I've got my up and down, and I'll label these so we see it better. On this first macro, we have left to right assigned to the second macro. So let's do left, right. This third one here is pitch. It's getting the pitch of my hand. And then lastly, we have back and forth is being tracked on there. So we'll say back, forth. Very scientific. Okay, so whoo, that is spicy. So let's start with just a basic tone. And let's go ahead and this might be fun to play with. Okay, so currently there's no mods happening right here. The first basic mod I'm going to apply is when I bring my hand up and down, it's going to control the level here, the volume. So I'm just going to sustain this note right now. I have a sustain pedal. Bring this level all the way down, drag this macro over here, and now it's going to detect. See where I'm going with this? Okay, so not exciting right now. It's a very broken theremin at this point. But let's go ahead and see. That right there will be a fun parameter, the wavetable position to automate. So let's make that the pitch. So I'm going to drag this pitch macro over here. Already that sounds pretty sweet. let's see what else would be fun to add to the mix. That's pretty sweet. So let's make that the left and right. We'll control this mirroring warp. That might be a bit extreme to do it that wide, but let's see. So you can already see we've got, you know, pretty fun sound that's pretty tactile. So if I was watching picture and I wanted to design something to it, I don't have to painstakingly kind of patch this together with pre-recorded sounds. I can just perform it live. Again, I know this is a very basic sound, but this is for demonstration purposes. I'm just going to start like adding parameters now that you get the basic concept and see where we end up. Add some kind of like beefy, bassy sound to this. Okay. I'm kind of copy what I did on that first one to the second sound. It's a bit nuts. I'm going to minimize how much this is modifying. For those of you who don't know, I'm adjusting this amount of change that the macro is applying by holding Option and clicking, and that's allowing me to do this. But this is not a Serum demonstration. This is more showing you this controller and how you can do multiple levels of sound alteration as we go along. So I'm going to say for this first sound, I like the sound when it's up in this higher register up here, so I'm going to start it a little bit later. Now, one thing I really like to do is I'm going to use the back and forth mod. We haven't used that yet. I'm going to apply this to this LFO rate. Take off the BPM. So now as I go back and forth here, we're going to see I have to apply it to something. So let's put it on just simply the level of both of our sounds here. Pretty sweet, huh? I have so much fun with this. I will just do this for an hour straight, not really making a productive sound per se, but it's just so wild to move your hand around and make sounds like this. As you can see with this kind of tremolo effect that we're automating with the rate of the LFO here, what you can do is we can tie that same parameter, the back and forth, to the pitch here, and we'll do how does it sound on the fine pitch? Now we want more juice than that. I'm going to remove that Because what you can do is you can kind of create vehicles, sci-fi vehicles out of this, which will be very helpful in like a spaceship scene, and you could kind of create the meat of the sound of a spaceship or something through this. There we go. I'm going to put the same, putting the back and forth parameter on this coarse pitch. So let's see how this sounds. Say we're like a spacecraft. Bit clicky, but you could already tell how fun this is. Okay, I'm just putting a high cut just so we don't get as much of that clicking going on. Maybe I'll put this this pitch parameter on the cutoff, just so if we do want it to get more intense, we can. Oh yeah. So anyways, I could do this for hours. I just wanted to show you how cool that is. And just some quick tips if you do dive into this. So what I've found that helps out, I'm in the GECO software, which is where you kind of tell the computer like how to interpret this data coming from the leap motion. If we go into the document settings here, right, so I have smoothen movements at 0. Okay, so these boundaries, and again, I'm only using my left hand. You can use 2 hands. I have it detecting only 1 hand, but you can say detect both hands, and you can do stuff like attach the volume to the right hand, kind of like a theremin, and get the like whoa 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 whoa, and you could use 2 hands. I use 1 for now, easier, but 2 hands is a lot of fun. Anyways, I digress. If you go over to this, the boundaries down here, you'll want to set it, because when they were fully wide, I would find that if I were moving my left hand, say like doing the pitch like this, and if I hit a certain point, the camera wouldn't interpret it right. So it kind of snapped back, and I was getting all sorts of unwanted MIDI data snapping. So I just kind of pulled these parameters in just so like my maximum, so to speak, was around there versus over here. And same for other parameters that I found were kind of glitching out. So just play around with those to help fine tune it so it doesn't do as much snapping like that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. And yeah, have a fun designing sounds out there, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you later.